Mr. Every our teacher,
Every teacher what?
every teacher said the same thing like 9 times because our lesson is 1 hour.
Uh,
Already like 1 hour is a lot. It's
yeah.
actually
Well, what can we do? This is a situation and it's quarantine, and the only way is, and all classes are online, maybe there, but here in Cambodia, we are back to school. I'm teaching my classes in the classroom, and I enjoy this more. And but here in Azerbaijan, you are in quarantine. You cannot go to school, so somehow I don't know. You have to study, right? And that's why. And also, Murad's actually studying school math and studying this private math. They are very different because in school math, they just teach general things and a lot of students. But here, there are only 4 or 5 students. And after that, I don't know, Murad's. But you try to,
Mr. Before you started the lesson, can I just explain you like something?
yes.
In our school, we have two groups for math, like the group who knows math worse and the group who knows the like math better. Like group one and second group. We have different teachers, and I'm like in group one, the strong group. Like for going like to reach the strong group, you should get at least 95 in the exams, and we have only 8 or 9 people there, so it's like similar to the situation here.
So what did you
That
learn today? Did you have math class today?
yes, I
Yes,
think
we did.
we learned something.
Midpoint and endpoint.
Yes, midpoint and endpoint in like triangles, like Pythagore theorem.
We have the same thing in our school. We have A stream, B stream, C stream, D
Yeah,
stream.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Very good. So you study Pythagorean theorem or how to find the midpoint of a line segment. What
No,
did you
like
study?
we finished Pythagorean theorem the lesson before, and now we are like not starting. We're already kind of finishing because there were two homeworks for that meeting point and like starting point. Now we are
Yeah.
starting like medium point and finishing point, something like that. I don't remember already.
Yeah, endpoint and midpoint.
And yeah,
Easy.
end point and a midpoint. Yes,
It's
Hmm.
easy.
it's quite easy. Yes, you just need to know the formula.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So when are you going to go back to school? In March?
No, Mr. Y, February.
So in February schools will open?
Yes,
Yeah.
but I believe that it will open for like a week, and then the ministry will decide that no, we have again 5,000 cases in one day, and they're going to close it again because the situation
Yeah,
is
they did that last time. They only opened it for like 3 weeks.
the situation like honestly did not change. It's still
Uh,
not good.
okay.
On the contrary, it got worse than before.
Yes, maybe.
Also, if you think about it, you're like cramming like 18 to 20 people in a room with half the people not wearing masks like properly. Don't you think at least someone will get corona in our school?
If one person gets corona, the other 18 also get it.
Yeah. Let's see. But here, also in Cambodia, they closed the school. Now they reopened this. We are going back to school. So everything is getting back to normal, right? But we never had quarantine. They only closed the school. So anytime you can go out, you can travel, you can go for shopping, and I can take my kids to the playground. Okay, guys. So Murat, you are tired, and sometimes if you're tired, if you just keep saying to yourself that I'm not tired, or try to how to say keep yourself involved in the class. But I have nothing to do. Okay, Murat. Now let's just start the class and let's see what can we do. So we are talking about algebraic manipulation and formula, and also we have already discussed the test. Okay, so we actually stopped here. I will continue from here. Let's say a few more questions, and I will see if we have some kind of word problems. I will ask you to solve those questions. Otherwise, and I will talk, you will listen. If you have questions, and you can ask, and we will discuss, and in this way we will have our today's class. So now we will talk about simplifying algebraic fractions or algebraic expressions, or let's say fractions involving variables. And the idea is the same, right? What is the idea? If you are given algebraic fraction, we need to factorize the numerator, we need to factorize the denominator, and if they have common factors, right, we should divide numerator and denominator by the common factor, and that's it. Yes, I am. N.
I have a question. So when you have to simplify, do you simplify the numerator and the denominator of one fraction, or do you simplify numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator?
And how do you simplify numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator? What do you mean by that?
Because here in question A, there's 4a minus 16 and 8, and they have 4 in common.
Okay. I am. It's actually in this kind of questions. Number one, we have to express the whole fraction as a single fraction. And after that, we factorize the numerator, we factorize the denominator. And we'll have a look. Do they have any common factors? We just cancel out the common factors. Okay, number one is we have to express it as a single fraction. We know how to do that. And after that, factorize the numerator, factorize the denominator, right? And just cancel out the common factors. For example, let's just see this in A. How can I express it as a single fraction? That means that I have to divide the first fraction by the second one, right? So that is 4a minus 16 over a plus b times, that is 5a plus 5b over 8. Now, if I multiply this, I can just write it as a single fraction. So I can draw a single fraction line, a plus b times 8. So that is 8 times a plus b. And in the numerator, in the first part, 4a minus 16, 4 is a common factor, a minus 4 times 5a plus b. 5 is a common factor, a plus b. Okay, just a second. Right. As you see here now, in the first step, I express two fractions as a single fraction. And after that, I factorize the numerator and denominator. And after that, now, do they have any common factors? As you see here, a plus b, they are common factors. And also this 8, I can write it as 2 times 4, right? So this 4 and also 4, they are multiplied, they are gone. How am I simplifying this? I'm just dividing the numerator and denominator by the same number or the same expression, right? I'm just using this idea. Here we have a times c over b times c. That's equal to a over b, right? Or also at the same time, if I divide the numerator by the same number, a over c, b over c, actually this, all of this, 1, 2, 3, all of these red fractions are equivalent fractions, right? So here, what we have here now, in the numerator, I have here 5 left and a minus 4. How about in the denominator? We have 2 only, right? So that is the simplest form of the given fractions. And how about in question B? We have only one fraction, right? The only way to simplify this, because sometimes it may not be possible to simplify, but we will see. So we have to factorize the numerator and also denominator, and we will see, do they have any common factors or not? If yes, we can simplify. If not, we have nothing to do. We just leave it as it is. So in B, as you see here, m squared cx mc. So what is a common factor? Mc is the common factor, right? So if you just take out mc from the numerator, what we have in the numerator, c is already out, one of the m's out. So here we have mx plus mc, so only one left, over. And how about the denominator? This denominator looks like a perfect square, right? m squared x squared, that is mx squared plus 2 times 1 times mx plus, and here we have 1 squared. Because instead of 1, we can write 1 squared because 1 squared is equal to 1. And the 2mx, I can write it as 2 times 1 times mx. How about m squared x squared? We can write it as mx squared. So what is it? Actually, it looks like a perfect square, right? So that means that here we have mx plus 1 squared, right? So mx plus 1 squared means mx plus 1 is multiplied by itself. So that's equal to, so this mx plus 1 is a common factor. It's come with the square. So what do we have here? mc in the numerator over in the denominator mx plus 1. So that is the simplest form of the given fraction. Ayan, do you have any question now? Ayan N. Is it clear?
It's clear, but why do we have to write 1 as 1 square? We can just leave it.
No, here I'm just explaining. Of course, you should do this mentally, but if you don't understand, I'm just explaining. Okay?
Okay.
Because we know that's actually the perfect square means it must be in this form, right? A squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And here I'm just trying to show that this one is the square of 1.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Mister,
All
are we
right.
going to do fractions today? Like everything is going to be about fractions?
I don't know.
Like it's actually we did it in school. So it's quite easy for me. I can do it fastly. Really
Faster. Can you
fast.
do question A in 1 minute, Murat?
Sure.
Okay. Murat, Jasmine, you do question A. Rifa, Ayan, you do question B. You have 1 minute. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, start now. 1, 2, 3. If we can do this question, I will skip others. We will talk about word problems.
Okay, mister. I think
You
I
think?
finished.
Not you think. Exactly tell me. What is the answer?
I finished. The
Okay.
answer is A. Look, the answer is A. Parenthesis A parenthesis A minus 2B. Uh, close parenthesis fraction A minus B.
Mr.
Okay.
Captain,
Is it correct, mister?
I will check this. Yes, Ayan.
for B, I have a sum.
Oh, mister! Wait, no, it's not correct.
Yes, just Ayan. Did you get it? Rifa?
No, I know how to do it, but I have a weird answer and I don't know how to cancel it now.
What is your weird answer? Can you tell me?
So it's 3b squared minus c squared over c squared minus 3b squared. And I'm confused if I can cancel positive.
Mister, I
Oh,
want to change my answer. I want to change my answer. It's not
Murat, too
correct.
late. 1 minute is gone.
No, no,
Okay,
no,
that's
no, no.
not your
Like,
fraction.
please. No, no,
Okay.
okay. Please.
Okay, what's your
I want to
answer?
change it. A minus 2B, just A minus 2B. Fraction. 3
Over.
yes, over 3 minus A, and that is all negative. Like, put negative sign near the fraction in the left. No, 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 no. Yes, yes. But avoid the parentheses. No parentheses. Yes.
Okay. So the first one, let me just do this fast, okay? I will do this. If I'm in the test, how would I do this question? All right. First, here we have a minus b. Here we have b minus a. So I'm going to factorize the numerator. A times a minus 2b times, here we have -1 times a minus b over, and here we have a minus b times a times 3 minus a. So this
I
a
just
minus
confused.
b, it is gone. This a, it is gone. If I multiply this -1 by 3 minus a, so that is a minus 2b over a minus 3.
Nah,
Okay.
but what? 3? No, it's 3 minus a.
Yeah, if you multiply this minus by this, right, it becomes a minus 3. You better write this. This is the simplest form. But now it is minus 3 minus a. It's not in the simplest form.
But in general, my answer is correct.
In general, your answer is correct, but not 100%. 95% correct.
Okay, but does it count as correct, right? It counts as correct. From 1 mark, you would give me 0.95.
Yes.
Okay, good. Like, if I would not confuse, I would have time to simplify it. But in the from the beginning, I confused. I did not see that we should multiply it, and I just did for the first one simplify, and yeah, I confused. That's
Good.
it.
Good.
Just
Murat, now I'm going to ask you another question. Let's finish this first. Ayan, how about this? This one is 3b minus c times, here we have b plus c, right? Because of the division. Over c plus b is the same as b plus c. So here we have b plus c times, how about c minus 3b? I can just keep write it as -1 times 3b minus c. We are just interchanging, right? So now from here, 3b minus c, 3b minus c, it's gone. B plus c, it is gone. So the answer is -1.
I have a question
Yes.
about A. How did you get A minus 3 at the bottom?
can I explain, please?
Yes, Murat, explain.
So look, when you see minus there, like from not in the simplest form, the
Yeah.
answer I got. When you multiply it by what is in parenthesis, it's like becomes, of course, like we know, like what minus by minus is not mine. It's like it becomes positive. So yeah, it turns places, and it's 3 minus a, right? Yeah, I mean a minus 3.
That made
Okay, thank you.
But if you divide it, how does it become like just like that?
Say again, Aya, what did it say?
Now I'm confused with A. Because if you divide -1 over 3 minus A, you get this answer, but then what about A minus 2B?
Ayan, can you look at this part? Do you understand why did I write like this? We call this actually manipulation, okay? What we have here, -1 over 3 minus a. So that thing, I can write this in very different form, right? Either I can write it as -1 times 1 over 3 minus a, or 1 over -1 times 3 minus a, or 1 over a minus 3. All of these fractions are the same thing.
Can you please explain how the process, like what you do that you get this number in final, please? Well, I can't get. It's confusing.
Okay, just simply, Ayan, can you answer this question? Let me just change the color here. Ayan, what
Like
is
for example,
-1
A.
over -8 is equal to what?
1/8.
1 over 8. Why?
Because you can cancel the negative.
Because here, Ayan, you are multiplying the numerator and denominator by -1, right? What we are doing here is like this: -1 times -1 over -1 times -1. I mean, sorry, -8. Now, -1 times -1 is equal to 1. -1 times -8 is equal to 8, right? The similar thing here we are doing here, right? Here, okay. If you continue this one, this a minus b, it's gone. A, it's gone, right? So 3 minus a, also it is gone, right? No, it's not gone. So what do we have here in the numerator? In the numerator, we have -1 times a minus b over, in the denominator, we have 3 minus a, all right? So that's what we have. Now I'm just multiplying numerator and denominator by the same number. What is it? By -1. And also multiplying the numerator by -1. Now -1 times -1 is equal to 1. So here we have a minus b over, and how about -1 times 3 minus a? -1 times 3, -3, -1 times -8, it is 8. So here we have a minus 3. Okay.
Okay, teacher, I understood this part, but I'm like I don't understand how did you get from A, like you wrote there with blue, like the last one, A square, like we open brackets A, like then A minus 2B, close brackets, multiply by like -1, and I don't know how did you get this one, like what you do.
No, here, Rifat, do you mean that here we have b minus a, right? I can write it as -1 times a minus b.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like, okay, for example, how did you get from this B that from given B, like the B that you wrote, what you simplified there, what you did,
Are you talking about question A?
like B doesn't matter, like B. Yes, I talk about B.
Okay, b. What is the problem with b?
Like I don't know how did you get from like this equation that is given from fractions, like
Ah,
the one fraction, one total fraction. This one. Did you understand me?
yeah. I thought because Murad told me that you learn at school, that's why I just did this very fast and do this steps mentally. What I'm doing here is in question B, the first part we have nothing to do. I can factorize, right? 3b minus c over, here we have,
Mhm.
and instead of c plus b, Rifa, can I write b plus c?
Yes. Okay. You
Because
can.
a plus b is equal to b plus a, right? So c plus b is equal to b plus c. I'm just writing in alphabetical order. And
Okay.
how
Yeah.
do we divide a fraction by another fraction? I have to
Like.
change this division into multiplication and just
Uh-huh.
invert the second fraction. Invert means write it upside down. So
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
we will
Understood.
have b plus c over c minus 3b. Now, how
Mhm.
do we multiply one fraction by another fraction? We should multiply the numerators together and denominators together. So I just draw a single fraction line. Here we have 3b minus c times b plus c. In the denominator, we have b plus c times c minus 3b. Number
Mhm.
one, b plus c as a c, b plus c is a common factor. And what is that here? Here we have 3b minus c over c minus 3b, right? If I just take this minus out, as you see here, look at this equation. I'm just using this one. If you take this minus out here, what do we have here? Here we have 3b minus c. If you remove the bracket, minus times 3, it is minus 3b. Minus times minus c is equal to plus c, the same thing. Now this 3b minus c, 3b minus c is gone. What is that here? -1.
Oh. Okay. I understood from. I didn't understand only the last part where you wrote like 3b minus c over -3b minus c. I didn't understand the part. Why did you write the negative, like -1, and from where did you get it?
I'm just removing the this a minus b. You see this a, b minus a. Can I write b minus a as -1 times a minus b?
Yes.
So that's it.
Oh. Okay. Yes. Okay. I
Rifa,
understood.
actually here is about algebraic manipulation. What we are doing here is a simple manipulation. For example,
Mhm.
5, right? I can write 5 as 10 over 2. I can write 5 as 3 plus 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So which
Okay. I
form
understood.
actually do I need? Accordingly, I'm just manipulating this. That is what we
I
are studying
understood.
here. Okay.
Okay.
Let's continue. And how about addition and subtraction? We should just bring into the common denominator and add this, right? In this example, for example, 6 and 4, common denominator is 12. The first one we should multiply by 2. The second one by 3. So here we have 2 times a plus 2b minus the second one by 3, 3 times a plus 2b. And when we have minus, you should be careful. If you expand this, here we have 12, 2 times a, 2a, plus 2 times 4b, 2b is 4b, negative 3 times a, negative 3a, negative 3 times 2, negative 6b. And we know how to simplify this. 2a minus 3a, that is minus a, 4b minus 6b minus 2b. In the denominator, we have 12. And that's why we have to just bring into the common denominator and add the numerators. Okay, so I will skip these things. All right. Equations. Now let's talk about equations. Equations involving algebraic fractions. And we know that solving equation is very important thing in math, right? A lot of problems are solved using equations. Equations means just using algebra. And the main idea is solving algebraic fractions. One way is we have to convert fractions into whole numbers, right? And after that, solve this. Or simplify the fractions and after that, solve this. But just how can I convert them into whole numbers? As you see here, if we have denominator 5 and denominator is 3. And the least common multiple of 3 and 5 is equal to 15. So let me multiply both sides by 15. So if I just multiply by 15, right, I'm just multiplying left-hand side by 15 and right-hand side by 15. So 15 times 1 over 5 is equal to 3. Here we have b minus 2 plus 15 times 1 over 3, that's equal to 5b minus 1. And 1 times 15, that's equal to 15. Right now, as you see here, our equation does not involve any fractions. So now here, if you expand this, 3b minus 6 plus 5b minus 5 is equal to 15, right? 3b plus 5b, it is 8b. And minus 6 minus 5 minus 11, take to the right-hand side, it is 15 plus 11. So what is b? b is 15 plus 11, 26 over 8. Or if you simplify by 2, it is 13 over 4. Or that is 3 and 1 over 4. Guys, before I continue, I'm going to ask one question for everybody. I will give you 3 minutes, right? So the question is, you have to factorize this expression. Factorize. Okay. What is it? Factorize this. A to the power of 4 plus a squared plus 1. Okay, you have to factorize. And factorize means write as a product of two algebraic fractions. You have 3 minutes. Time starts now. If anybody answers this question, I will give you 100. No cheating, all right? Just you can use only brain and piece of paper and pen, nothing else. Okay, Murad, do not actually ask your father.
What? When I asked my father, Mister.
Don't get help from your father.
But when did I?
Now, I'm not saying you did this. I'm saying in the future, don't do this.
But how do you know my father is good at math?
Now, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I'm just reminding you, don't do this. After you ask,
Okay.
it'll be too late, right?
Mr. Kazem,
Yes.
so it's okay to get help from my mom?
Ooh, yes.
Yes, Jasmine. Please.
It wasn't just me, I think. It was Ayan.
It was
Oh,
Ayan.
Ayan, sorry, Ayan.
Are we solving example 12, right? Okay, wait.
No. You are solving this question. Okay, the question is, you have to factorize this expression. You have 3 minutes, only 2 minutes left.
Wait, what?
That is Sasmo question.
By the way, Mister, what's the difference in factor and factorizing? To factor or to factorize? What's the difference?
Usually in factor, we use it for numbers. Like if you factor 20, that means I write 20 as a product of numbers. Factorize for algebraic expressions.
Okay.
Okay.
No, Mister, I can't solve this.
Same.
Teacher, can I try? But I think it's a little bit incorrect, like for 99.9%. Can I try?
What do you mean you can try? You might try on the screen or what? You're not trying now?
No, like I mean, can I try to answer?
Yes,
Like
please. Yes,
a power of 6 plus 1.
A to the power of 6?
Yes, plus 1.
Oh my God, you are scaring me, Rifa.
No, then no, I don't.
And here, when you factorize this, right, the power of A should be smaller than 4.
Yeah, Rifah, it's like, yes. I don't.
I understand.
It's actually not that easy as it looks from the beginning.
Jasmine, how about you? Any answer?
Nope, not a single one.
Ayan Nagiz, Ayan N.
No.
Are you working with your mother now?
No, I'm not. I
Of
was
course she is, Mister. What a question. Everybody works with his mother in this lesson. Mister, what? Like,
if
No,
I
no,
was,
actually,
I would have gotten an answer by now.
no, Mister.
okay. All right, guys,
My
let's do this. This is a little bit challenging question. Not everybody can solve this, but only I was expecting that Murat could solve this question, but Murat, you failed. It's
Mister.
about manipulation. Okay, Murat. So I'm going to do simple manipulation. What? So look, here we have a to the power of 4. And I just add something, a squared plus 1. Can I do this thing? Plus a squared minus a squared. Does it change anything? Because 0 plus anything is just itself, right? I'm just using this property. A plus 0 is equal to a. Okay, Murat, any objection?
No.
Okay.
No.
Then keep actually looking at this. Here we have a squared plus a squared. I will just simplify this part. So here we have a to the power of 4 plus 2a squared plus 1. And here I have one more term. It is minus a squared. Now, Ayan, yes, I'm listening to you. What happened?
Where did the plus a square minus a square come from?
What is Ayan? A squared minus a squared?
It's 0, but why did you add it?
Because I need it. And that's why we call this algebraic manipulation. Sometimes if I need something, I just add it and subtract. Okay. So if you just add 0 to something, it doesn't change anything, right? So that means I can do that. And why do I need, as you see here now, the first 3 terms? Does it actually form a perfect square? Yes. Because here I am, let me just write like this. A to the power of 4 means a squared and squared. Plus 2a squared, I can write it as 2 times 1 times a squared. And how about 1? I can write it as 1 squared. And here still I have a squared. And what is this one? That's equal to a squared plus 1 squared. minus, and here we have a squared. Now I have something like this, right? I have something like this. A squared minus y squared is equal to x minus y and x plus y. So actually, if you just look at this, let me continue from here. All right. So if you continue from here, so here we have a squared plus 1 plus a times a squared plus 1 minus a. Here, a squared plus 1, it is x, and y is a. So that is how we factorize this expression. As you see here, I just wrote it as a product of two simpler algebraic expressions. Okay? Yes, I am.
How did you simplify a square plus this thing plus 1 square minus a square into a square plus 1 square minus a square?
All right. Ayan, let me do one more time for you and also for Murat. Let me use now black. So actually, guys, I'm talking about this expression, a to the power of 4 plus a squared plus 1. Just watch it, what I'm doing here. So now I'm just going to write this in the form of x squared minus b squared. So now I am going to add something and subtract. So here I can write it as 2a squared plus 1 minus a squared, right? Because 2a squared minus a squared, it gives us a squared. So I'm not changing anything, right? Just changing the form of it. So now, if you look at this one, is it a perfect square? Yes. Why? Because I can write it as a squared, right? Squared plus 2 times 1 times a squared plus 1 squared, right? So if you don't agree with me, I can just do like this. Look, how can I factorize it? Again, I can write it as a to the power of 4 plus 2a squared. I can write it as a squared plus a squared plus 1. And still here I have a squared. Continue. Here, what is the common factor? A squared. And here I have a squared plus 1. Plus, how about here? What's the common factor? Just 1. It is a squared plus 1. And still I have one more term here. I just keep it here, a squared. Now, if you look at this one, this two, right, this two. What is the common factor? A squared plus 1 is a common factor. Take this out. A squared plus 1. And what is left here from the first expression? A left, a squared left. Plus what? Here we have 1, right? So here we have plus 1. And the minus, here we have a squared. In algebra, if something is multiplied by itself in a compact form, I can just write it as a squared plus 1 squared minus, and here I have a squared, right? As you see here, we have something, a squared plus 1 is something squared, and also here we have something squared. So if we have x squared minus y squared, how do we factorize it? It is just x minus y, x plus y. What is our x? X is a squared plus 1. Plus, what is our y? It is a times, and now our x is a squared plus 1 minus, what is our y? It is a. How about now, Ayan? Did you understand something?
Yes, I understood it.
Very good. If you understood, that is a great news. So we can continue now. Jasmine, how about you?
It's confusing, but I understand.
If it is confusing, that means that you are learning something. If everything is clear, you are not learning anything, Jasmine.
Mr. Chasm,
Yes.
the thing is, I understand it, but if you ask me to do it, I will be confused again.
Yes, me too.
So Ayan, then practice this until you don't get confused anymore. And actually, in this case, you know what you have to do. My suggestion is sometimes what I do, for example, okay, and sometimes when I do research, okay, I need to learn something, for example, it is very complicated or it's very hard. You know, some math is very, very advanced level. I read it, I don't understand. I read it again, I don't understand. And after that, I just take a piece of paper and I just copy everything, okay? While I copy, I try to understand every step. And this time I understand a bit more. All right. Then after the practice 3, 4 times, you will definitely understand. So what I suggest you is you don't understand, still confusing. So from here, okay, I write the first step, and after that write the second step, and try to understand why we write this. After that, write the third step. Just copy it, okay, and try to understand. And after that, write the third, all the steps. And after, still, if you don't understand, do this one more time, and I'm sure that you will get some idea. You will understand this because that is human nature. For example, if I ask my daughter, okay, just one word, say this, he doesn't understand. But what is 3 times 4? Very difficult question for grade 1 student, right? If I ask, okay, Abbas, what is 3 times 4? They say, what does times mean? Even they don't understand. If I say 3 times 4 is 12, oh, really? 3 times 4, 12? Ah, okay. 3 times 4, oh, now I know that. You don't have to tell me. That's the reaction of the people. It's the same thing, okay? The first time, second time, third time when you do this, you will see the clearer picture, okay? That is what I mean, from my experience. Yeah, that's anyway, let's continue. And I'm going to finish this part, okay? And I want to talk about word problems. That is really important part. And after that, after 10 minutes, I will finish the class. Okay. Now, Murat, you're going to solve some questions, okay? So I didn't spend much time on equations and simplifying. And really, those things are not so difficult. By practicing a few questions, you can improve this. But these problems are very, very important. And a lot of times, even university students, they struggle with this kind of questions. Why? The main reason is they don't understand the problem. Okay. And the second reason is they understand, but they don't know how to convert it into algebraic equation. And these two steps are quite challenging. I mean, quite difficult. And actually, if you can go through these steps easily, solving equation, as Mr. Murat said, it is easy because solving equation, you're just following fixed principles, fixed rules, right? But this solving problems, for every problem, it requires different skill. Why? Because number one, you need to have a good vocabulary, right? And number two, understanding the skill and experience. And number three, algebra, right? And otherwise, it cannot solve the questions. Anyway, problems involving algebraic fractions may be solved using the various problem solving heuristics. One of them is algebraic method. That is what we are studying here. Generally, the algebraic method consists of 4 steps. Number one is we should read the problem and understand this. After that, we have to introduce some variables or variable to denote the unknown in the question. And after that, using this variable or variables, we have to set up an equation, right? And after that, we have to solve this. And after that, we have to check the answer. Which one is the most suitable answer or just suitable answer? And we have to pick up the suitable answer. And that's it. That is the conclusion. Let's start with this. Rifa, read the question.
Okay, teacher. Alvin bought some oranges. He gave one over two of them to his sister.
He
One
gave
over
half
four,
of them, right? You can just read
yeah,
half of them.
yeah, half of them to his sister. 1/4 of them of
And
the
also this 1
remainder.
over 4 is a special fraction, right? How do you call this? It is a quarter.
A quarter, yes, of the remainder to his neighbor. 3/5 of those left to his children, and had 6 left in the end. How many oranges did Elvin buy?
Rifa, what do you think? Can you solve this problem? Or did you understand the problem first? Let me ask this question.
Okay, let me read again because I just read it.
Okay. Read it loudly so they can hear you.
Alvin bought some orange. He gave half of them to his sister, quarter of the remainder to his neighbor.
Okay, Rifa, let's solve them together, okay? Let me show you 2-3 examples. After that, you will try. Because from now on, guys, we are going to practice a lot of this kind of questions. If you really want to improve your math, you have to solve problems like this. We call them just simply problems or word problems. So let me just start here. It says that Alvin bought some oranges. Do we know how many oranges did he buy? We don't know. And let's say the number of oranges he bought is X. Okay. So originally he had X oranges. All right. He gave half of them to his sister. Okay. Number one, he's giving some to his sister. Okay. How many? Half of them. That is 1/2 of X, right? And immediately, let me just write here remainder. If he gave half of the apples to his sister, Ayan, this question is for you. How many oranges are left now with him?
Can I say?
If he gave half of the oranges to his sister, how many oranges left with him now?
Can I say?
Yes. Yes.
Isn't it x over 2?
X/2, right? Because as you see here, 1/2, x plus 1/2x is equal to x. So now Alvin has 1/2x oranges. Okay, continue. Number 2, it says that 1/4 of the remainder to his neighbor. And neighbor, let me just denote this by n, all right? What is it? 1/4 of the remainder. So 1/4 of the remainder is 1/2x. Now immediately if you simplify this, that's equal to 1/8x, right? And again, it says that 3/5 of those left. Again, now let's just find how many oranges left. Before she gave actually to his neighbors, he had 1/2x orange, right? And minus he gave 1/8x orange to his neighbor. Now, if you simplify this, you know how to do that. Common denominator is 8. Multiply the first fraction by 4. 4 minus 1. So that's equal to 3/8x. So now this many oranges are left with Alvin. Continue. The third one, it says that 3/5 of those left to his children. So to his children, right? How many? That is 3/5 of those left. Left is 3/8 times x, which is equal to 9/40x to his children. And had 6 left in the end. So that means that before he gave this orange to his children, he had 3/8x. Let me just write this in green. That is our equation part. Now I'm going to set up our equation. So he had 3/8x orange left. And after that, he gave 9/40 times x orange to his son. After that, how many left? Only 6 left, right? So we have to solve this equation. That's it. If you solve this, common denominator of this fraction on the left is 40, multiplies by 5 by 5. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 minus 9 is 6. So here we have 6. X is equal to 6, right? Now, if you multiply both sides by 40/6, so the x will be equal to 6 times 40/6. So 6 is gone. What is left here? 40. So dot, dot, dot. Alvin had 40 oranges, or he bought 40 oranges. Murat, everything is clear?
Yes, sure.
Good. That's great.
Mister,
Teacher, I have a
to be
question.
honest,
Yes.
I need to go soon, but at 9, when are we going to finish? Just
No, that's the last question. I'm going to finish now.
okay.
Why would his sister need 20 oranges?
No, but does it matter?
Jasmine, say again. What did you say?
Why would his sister need 20 oranges?
Like Jasmine, I bought 45 on the other day to make orange juice, for example.
Maybe she's having party with her friends, so she needs orange.
Yes, and she's
But if it's a party, why would you eat oranges? Just like order pizza or something.
maybe she ordered pizza and she wants real orange juice and she's making it from oranges.
Just buy orange juice.
Or maybe they are playing some kind of game and they need orange to play the game. That's why. You can make a lot of different guesses. Anyway,
Wait.
guys, what you have to do is I am going to drop this homework into the WhatsApp group. You have to practice these word problems, especially until next class. Okay, that's it for today. And one more time, we are going to study a little bit more in February for 2 weeks. We are going to practice SASMO questions. Okay. So that's is and just a reminder. Thank you very much. Have a nice weekend. I will see you next week. Okay. Yes, Aya, we can leave the meeting now. Yes, Aya.
I feel bad for Alvin. He bought 40 oranges, but he has 6 only to himself.
Aya, say again. What did you say?
Never mind, I was just making a joke.
Okay, just tell me your joke again. What did you say?
I said that. I feel bad for Alvin because he bought 40 oranges, but he only has 6 left for himself.
Maybe he's a generous guy.
But teacher, he has children, a sister, and a neighbor. Where is his wife?
Maybe his wife is at work.
But she will still need oranges, or she's allergic. Who knows?
Yeah, actually, mathematicians, when they are making this kind of questions, I don't know, it depends on who made this question, maybe maybe that's a lady prepared this question. That's why she forgot about herself, maybe. I don't know. Okay, but what is interesting is this kind of questions come usually from girls. Also, my daughter asked similar question like it. That's why I'm laughing here. Then boys, they don't ask this kind of questions. Okay. Anyway, Jasmine, Ayan, thank you very much. Then I'm finishing because other students are waiting now. I have one more class. Okay. Have a nice weekend. I will see you next week. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Weekend.
Goodbye. Have a nice
Bye bye.
weekend.
Thank you. You too.